What's going on? How's everybody doing? Hopefully not getting too crazy with politics and everything. I saw some stuff, more information and some more the recent shooter for Trump, what's his name, Ryan Routh or whatever, Ryan Wesley Routh. Why do they always have middle names? You notice that? I mean, we all have middle names, but you know what I'm saying. They released a letter which looks funky to me, but anyway, that's what I was going to talk about. But I'm like, I've been talking about that crap a lot lately, so I figured I'd kind of change it up, and hopefully, I mean, there's probably some of you that are like, well, that's why I listen to you is because whatever. So if that's you, I'm sorry, but I don't know. I just kind of wanted to have a different subject instead of everything, on my podcast. Because like I said, I don't, I'm not, political commentator. I'm not a historian. I'm not I'm just a normal idiot that just talks about whatever. So, So actually, I've gotten a few questions. Seems like recently too, like about how I feel about living here in the Philippines and everything. And I've been seeing sort of the phone, man, Google and all that crap listens to your conversations. I mean, they do keep track of what you look up, that's for sure. But yeah, I thought I would just kind of talk about, and some people that have listened to me before know already. But anyway, I just had a conversation with somebody, and basically that's what I'm going to talk about. So I've been living here in the Philippines for 4 years now. Well, over 4 years. Like 4.5 now, actually. And, I have some family members that grew up here but live in the States now. And they're concerned that I'm staying here because of like the healthcare. Yes, the Philippines, has the healthcare. They have doctors and hospitals and stuff, but it's not quite as good. I always say the Philippines is like, 50 years behind America, sort of, in some ways. But actually, that's kind of like what I like about it, though. It's a more simpler life. It's like I always say, it's like how I picture America was in the 40s and 50s, and but I mean, America's not perfect either. America's a great country, but it's crumbling. It's going down. It's not going to last forever. But yeah. So I've lived here 4 years. There are some things that I don't like or agree with so much, and some things I love. But generally, there are two things that I hate about living here. And if these two things could poof, be gone, I'd be happy. The first thing is, as some of you know already, is the way they drive here. It's just every single time I go out and drive anywhere, it's just horrendous, man. I had a good analogy I thought about the other day, but now I can't think of what it is. But you know how it's just you'll run into that driver every once in a while in the States where they're just you're thinking to yourself, is this guy an idiot? What that you honk at him and they're like, what is this guy doing? That happens depending on how much you drive and stuff, but maybe once a week or even once a month or every other week or something like that. But here it's every day. It's every day, multiple times a day. You get by one idiot and then you get stuck behind another idiot. Like it's so crazy. And the thing that sucks is they have like driver's ed here, and they're making people go to the driver's ed classes and stuff. But if people fail, they still they give the person a little extra money and they pass them and they're good to go. So it's like, it's pointless. It's just another way for people to pocket some money. So it's kind of annoying. I sometimes wish that I could just get a job being the instructor here, and I would just they wouldn't like me, but because it's insane. It's just Just think about like the worst driver that you've dealt with recently, and then now make that driver basically 90% of the people on the road every day. That's what it's like here. It's insane. It's just they have no concept of right of way at all. And their idea of right of way is like the complete opposite of what it should be. If you're on the main road, you have the right of way. But that's not how they see it. They like if someone's on the side of the road, like if you're going to turn and pull into traffic, you got your blinker on, you're looking, you're waiting for that gap, right? And then you'll pull in. Here, they just turn on their blinker and they just start merging and they're like, oh, they'll get out of my way. And it's just like, dude, what the crap, man? They have one turnaround or roundabout, turnabout, whatever they are, and they do it the opposite. When you're inside the circle, they all yield to the people coming into the roundabout instead of once you're in the roundabout, you have the right of way. You know what I mean? It's like, it's all the opposite. It's just insane. And then they do the opposite of, they don't look at all. So basically, they start to pull into traffic, then they'll look, and then they'll turn on their blinker. Instead of turning on your blinker, looking, and then pulling into traffic. They do it the exact opposite. I don't know how many people I've almost hit because they don't look. They just start pulling in first, and then they're like, oh, crap. Like, it's insane. I've talked about this before, I'm sure. And some of you are like, dude, we get it. But, there's some people that haven't heard me bitch about it before, so. But yeah, it's just, so we have like a little electric golf cart that, what's cool is like we can, it's not registered. There's no license plate. I mean, it's got lights and everything and a horn, blinkers and stuff. But we use that to drive around town because it's so much easier because the roads are a lot narrower and smaller and there's nowhere to park ever. So it's a lot easier to get around on that. So when I'm in town, I like to drive that unless it's like piss and rain and then, But it's just, man, every time I go somewhere, every single time, there's somebody that just does something. And it's like, like even on the highway, man, when people like, when you, or at least how I was taught and grew up and how it's generally in the States, when you are pulling out into a highway or road that has like a certain speed limit, you get up to speed quickly so that you don't interrupt the flow of traffic or anybody else. Here, they'll sit there, like there'll be like a huge gap and they're like kind of creeping out and they're waiting to make sure that like I will slow down and then they'll be like, okay, now I'll come out. And then they just creep out. It's like, dude, hurry up. Go. What are you waiting for? It's like, oh my gosh. It's just, and I'm not like an aggressive driver. I'm not, a speed demon or anything, but it's just like, there are so many people that just ruin the flow of traffic and there's no turning lanes and stuff. So it's like you get stuck behind somebody sometimes. You'll get stuck behind like a tricycle driver that is going so slow and they're on a highway. They have a shoulder that they're supposed to be on actually. But it's like they can't sit there and like, oh crap, here comes a car. I'll get over, let the fast cars go. And there are actually some signs that say, slow vehicles on the shoulder. But they don't care. They just don't care. You have to sit there and honk your horn, get the fuck out of the way before they, and it's just like, there's just no consideration of other people on the road. It's so infuriating. And that's everybody, man. That's like 90%. I think I keep going up. I started off saying like 75 and then it was like 80. But so many people. And I'm like, I'm not the most social person. So I do have a few acquaintances, few friends that I like and I respect, and I don't want to ride in a car with them driving because I'm afraid I'm going to see them drive like an idiot and then I'm going to lose my respect for them. So I try to avoid, like if we go somewhere, I'll be like, I'll drive. But that, I don't really, doesn't happen very often. Usually it's like they'll come here or I'll go there or whatever. But yeah, so the way they drive, it's not even the traffic. I mean, yeah, Manila has crazy traffic. There's so many cars, so it's kind of understandable. But here where I live out in the country, there's no reason for it, man. I mean, there's still at times there's a lot of traffic, but between people not knowing how to drive and the roads aren't set up right, and the individuals that do the traffic controllers, the traffic individuals, they suck too. They don't know what the hell they're doing. But what's funny though is like, so the only intersection with a light in like this whole area, like within hundreds of miles that I know of, is here in our town. Because I can drive from here and go south. I haven't been on the east side of Luzon yet, but take this highway, which is Highway 2, and I could take it south to go to Manila. And I could go for hours, and not see another traffic light. Like, it's crazy. And to be honest, it's not really needed. Like in the States, there's traffic lights all over, and they have people that study traffic flows and this and that and the speed limits, and like if we adjust this and I have this light and make this light longer or shorter or whatever, you know what I mean? Here they don't have that, but they did. The one traffic light that they have, they recently installed new lights, which I think have the sensors. Like in the States, a light will stay green on the main road, and then when a car pulls up, it feels the weight, and then it'll click. Okay, then the lights will turn yellow or whatever. And so I think they added that, and they put like actual lights, and they have lights for the people turning right. Because you have people who, the opposite direction, or like, okay, no, like you're at a light, right? And the people across from you that are coming towards you, they have a green light to go straight and to turn left. Well, in the States, you're taught on a red light, you stop and then go, right? You have to stop on a red light to turn right. Here, they just do whatever. But they did add a light for those people, but I don't think they understand what the hell's going on. And then they have actually the lights for the people to cross the street, because it'd be the same thing. You're sitting here waiting forever because people are idiots. And then finally the light turns green, and then people decide they want to cross the street. So then they're stopping, you know what I mean? It's like, what the crap? Why didn't you cross the street when it was green this way? You know what I mean? Just the certain fundamentals that you're taught in the States, they just have no clue here. And it's annoying, but it's like, they're not taught. They don't know. So, but the thing is, they're trying to teach it now, like I said, in that class, but then they're just letting people fail, and then they still get their license. So it's like, it's never going to change. It's just kind of annoying. So that's the one thing, one of the two things that I hate about the Philippines. The other stuff, like I said, the other stuff is trivial, kind of, yeah, this could be cool or whatever, but it's not a big deal. But like, the way they drives me nuts. It really does. But then the nice thing is, like, once like 6 o'clock comes around, 7 o'clock at night, there's not too many people on the road. Everybody's, you know what I mean? So it's like, usually that's when I like driving more, is in the evening when there's less people. And then the other thing is the humidity, not the heat. It doesn't really get that hot. It's in the 90s, which is hot, I guess, but yeah, it's the humidity, And yes, I knew that coming into moving here. I knew, I came here to visit before, and I knew, it's going to be hot, and I'm not built for heat. I'm just not. My ancestry is all from England and Norway, so I thrive in the cold. I can deal with cold way more easily than the heat. And then on top of that, I can deal with dry heat much better than humid. So the humidity here just, there are times when I got all these plans. I'm like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get up early, and I'm going to get some stuff done. And then I start going out there, and it's just already, I'm like dying, sweating like crazy. And I'm just like, oh my God, screw this. And I go back in my room with the AC, So it kind of sucks. It kind of hinders my productivity. I sounded Canadian there. Productivity, whatever. At times. But like I said, I knew that coming in, but I kind of thought that I would get a little more acclimated than I have. And I may be more acclimated than I realize. I'm sure if I went to the States right now, or especially, you know, maybe in October or November, I would probably go and I'd probably be freezing when everyone else is like, dude, what's wrong with you? Because I'm used to it here. So I'm sure I am a little acclimated, but still, I have not acclimated to where I would hope. You know what I mean? So it's like I don't really start getting my most productive doing yard work and being outside and stuff is always October through like February, you know? And that's it. And then after that, it's like some days, you know, if it's cloudy or it's a little rainy, I might be outside doing something, but it's just I can't stand it, man. I just sweat like constantly. I sweat so much. And so yeah, that was if it was a little cooler here. And there are parts of the Philippines here that there are, you know, maybe up a little higher elevation and this and that are a little cooler than where I'm at. But this is where my wife grew up, and this is where we're going to be. So
stay with us. We'll be right back.
Thanks again for listening to The Objective Jerk. I greatly appreciate it. If you could like, subscribe, comment on wherever you're finding this, and you can also email me at theobjectivejerk@gmail.com. So hope you're enjoying it, and please continue on with the episode. Can't change it. But, you know, as much as I miss the cold, I don't miss shoveling snow or anything like that. So, and I don't miss breaking out the wardrobe for winter and then putting away the summer wardrobe and then switching it every time. You know what I mean? I basically wear the same t-shirt, shorts, and flip-flops year round, you know? I do dress up a little bit when I go to mass or, you know, to weddings or something. Sometimes I'll kind of dress up a little bit, but I have yet to be like, oh man, I wish I had a hoodie. I do wear a hoodie sometimes to bed, but my room's a lot cooler, and I'll just kind of wear a hoodie, but you know, the sleeves are cut off and it's just kind of comfy. I'm not really cold. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. But yeah, I think the first Christmas here, it was kind of cool for here, but I was comfortable, but I wasn't cold. But I went and put on a hoodie because I wanted to be, you know, it doesn't feel like Christmas unless I'm bundled up. You know what I mean? And I put on a hoodie, and it was like I started sweating after a little bit, so I had to take it off. I mean, it still does cool off, you know, during the winter, but not enough, man. Not enough for me. It's just kind of funny because like my wife's, you know, family members and stuff will be wearing coats and all this stuff, and I'm just like wearing my same thing I wear during the summer, you know, and they're like freezing, and I'm just like, I mean, now granted, I still like a hot shower, you know, but yeah, it's just I kind of wish it would be a little bit cooler. I think if it could just drop down a few degrees, 10 more degrees than what it does, I think that would help me be a little more. But again, it's just, you know, those are some of the pros and cons, or that's what I have to deal with, you know. I'm retired. I'm 46 years old and I'm retired basically. So I have got a nice home. It's a little older, still working on some things. You know, I can't complain. I don't know. It is great living here, you know. So I see a lot of people talking about living here in the Philippines, and they, you know, it is different, that's for sure. I mean, I'm used to it now, 4 years. But like I think I said before, you know, I spent some time in Iraq, and I think that helped me when I came here because I used that as a template. When I came here, I was thinking Iraq, and then when I got here, I'm like, oh well, this ain't nothing like Iraq. So, I mean, Iraq right now I think is a lot better, but at the time when I went, at the beginning of the war, it was pretty crazy. But I don't know. It's nice, and I guess a lot more and more people are starting to venture out and move to other countries. U.S. citizens, expats, or whatever. A lot of people are going to the Philippines. Some people are going to Taiwan, maybe Indonesia, maybe, I don't know. Some of the other countries and stuff, but yeah, there's lots of stresses and headaches that you have living in the U.S. that is really not needed. You know what I mean? Like it's almost pointless. So I have no desire to move back to the States. I don't even desire to go visit. I have some friends and family that they're like, man, are you gonna come visit? And I'm like, I don't know, someday, maybe, I don't know. But it's like, dude, I've been to the States. You haven't been to the Philippines. Why don't you come here? So I got some friends that are looking into it, and they're gonna come visit. I even got some friends that are looking to maybe move here as well. Because it's an easy life. It's once you get a little older and you've kind of experienced some stuff, you're like, okay, it's like I have a pretty decent sized property, a nice big house that's paid for. I don't have like a 30-year loan that I'm paying on or anything like that. Yes, I have to pay property tax every year, but it's a lot less than what, in the States and everything. But it's, you do have to make some adjustments. You have to accept some things, and but again, it all depends on where you live, though, too. I mean, the further south, if I was to live closer to Manila, there's probably more options. Like one of the biggest differences is like restaurants and places to eat. There's lots of people. There's not like a bunch of Sizzlers or anything like that. There's people will open up their own little eateries, and most of the time they're Filipino food. But people are starting to kind of open up different types of trying to incorporate other cultures and cuisine and stuff. Like there's a German restaurant up north that every time we go by, I always try to stop by to eat, but they're always closed every time. And they're open, but like bad timing or something. It's like Sunday or whatever. I don't know. But so I haven't yet to go there, but I mean, they have some, they have Shakey's Pizza. They got McDonald's. So here, Starbucks. What else they got? I'm trying to think of what they have that's here that's in the States. They used to have Pizza Hut, but it closed not long after we got here. And then other stuff is kind of more Filipino style, kind of whatever. There's a individual I know that he has a restaurant nearby that's like smoked food, and it's kind of more like American style, Southern smoked, and a little bit of Cajun and whatever this and that. So that's pretty good. So there are options, but it's just not like in the States where you can go, where you have, Italian, Mexican, all these different whatever options, Chinese, this and that. I mean, they do have a Chinese restaurant here, but it's just the one type. Well, no, there's that one in Lawag too, I guess. But, and like, so every time I go to Manila is the only place that has a little bit more options, especially something that's similar to the States. So usually I'll go to Texas Roadhouse. We went to Olive Garden last time. They got a Wendy's there. They got Burger King, Taco Bell, which the fast food stuff I really don't miss. Except I do kind of miss Jack in the Box sometimes. But it's not like, the end of the world or anything. Once a year, generally I'll get some Texas Roadhouse or some Olive Garden, and I'm good, It's all I need. I don't know. I'm good. So I don't know. So I didn't really get to discuss as much as I was looking to talk about. I mean, I talked about the two things I hate. Everything else is either I love or it's like, it's fine. I don't care. It's no, one way or the other. But yeah, I don't know. If you're looking to move overseas, specifically the Philippines, make a comment, send me an email, whatever. I can tell you what I know. But yeah, that's it. Thanks for hanging out. God bless, and I'll see you guys next time. All right, bye. You just put yourself through another episode of The Objective Jerk. Thanks again for hanging out with me. Please email me at theobjectivejerk@gmail.com. Like, subscribe, comment, wherever you find this, follow. It all helps. But thanks again, and I'll see you next time.